Jen, I have got no energy and I can't lose weight. I'm sure I've got a slow metabolism. What is going on? I'd love $1 for every time that I've heard that, because it is just so common and it's just so not needed to be the way it is. But the reality is it is. So I wanted to talk today about what our metabolism actually is, because I think if we can understand that, and I'm going to give you 5 hacks that will give you some ways to help really guide your metabolism the majority of the time, I'm sure we can head you in the right direction. So what is a metabolism? Your metabolism is kind of like the chemical reactions that are happening in your body cells that turn food that you eat into energy. And then that energy means to burn it up, to turn it into the energy that we move around with. So it's specific proteins in the body that control the reactions of the metabolism. All right. And there's thousands and thousands of little metabolic reactions happening all the time, which help keep our cells healthy and actually working. And the metabolism, that word actually refers to that total of all those chemical processes that are naturally happening within our body. And we've got one fundamental component of metabolism, and that's the energy consumed, okay, by your body through the day, even if you're doing nothing. I want to say that again. The one fundamental component of what metabolism is the energy consumed by your body throughout the day, even if you're doing nothing. So what is the energy? The energy is measured in calories, or nowadays we say kilojoules in Australia. So our resting metabolic rate is the energy, the calories that your body needs to sustain life, to keep operating. And our resting metabolic rate is about 70% of the total daily energy expenditure of someone who's just sedentary, just staying still, not exercising, not racing around, things like that. Now, the other components that contribute to the total daily energy expenditure are the thermic effect of food, so the energy is required to burn up that food. Number 2, the energy required for digestion and absorption of foods. We've got it actually of the food and of the energy to digest and absorb the food. And then also how we're moving our body around each day. Here are 5 hacks that we can help support our metabolism based on the science of food metabolism and energy balance. Okay, now the very first one is we have to move our body every day. We do. And I'm not a gym head. I'm not a fan of running. I absolutely ran half marathons and things like that. But nowadays, no, I'm a happy walker and I'm a happy surfer. And I also do weight training and I do some qigong. But that's my version of how I like to move my body of a day. Some people love the gym, some people love running, some people love tennis or whatever it is, but we need to move our body every day. And the reason is our resting metabolic rate is determined by the amount of fat-free body mass we have. The fat-free body parts we've got are things like our organs and our brain and our liver, and they use a lot of energy, okay, energy, calories to function, but it also includes how much lean muscle mass we have. So think of muscle as a huge driver, but it's not as big a driver as you think, because some people think, oh, that's it, lots more muscle and that will do the job. Totally, it's an influence, but it's not the main kind of driver. So apart from just working with our resting metabolic rate and the energy that's burned by eating our food, about 15% to 50%, that's 15 to 50 of the energy burn comes from moving our bodies. What is cool is that it's the single component that we can influence the most. Our body's response to exercise in recovery and rebuilding boosts our metabolism after workout. So it's not the workout, well, it is, it's the workout, but it's also how our body has to rebuild all those little tissues that have been, stressed and torn and everything as we build more lean muscle. So there's so much in us training hard, but there's also that rest and recovery is really important as well. And I'll touch on that as well. So let's keep going. So number 1 is we need to move our body every day. In my book, The 7 Steps to Sanity, moving your body is an integral part of that 7 steps to sanity. It is so important for us to keep moving. Number 2 are cleanse days, or nowadays intermittent fasting has become really trendy. And I have done a podcast in the past on intermittent fasting. But a cleanse day for me is not about calorie deprivation. And in that previous podcast, I've talked all about how so many people think intermittent fasting is just calorie deprivation, but that puts a stress on our body and gives us more of a problem down the track. So for me, a cleanse day is not calorie deprivation. We're providing our body with a reset to our appetite, our metabolism, and also our insulin sensitivity. Really important. Now, cleanse days help to declutter our cells and kick in autophagy. Now, if you want to check out episode 98, I just in 2 episodes ago talked all about autophagy and how that works. Go and check it out. It's super interesting. Now, when you're on a cleanse day, your body is drawing on stored energy from fat. Those nutrients that the body, excess nutrients the body has stored away, our body starts drawing on them. And intermittent fasting on cleanse day helps our metabolism to work more effectively. So go back and check out episode 98. Number 3 is protein pacing. It's really interesting that most people eat the majority of their protein in their dinner. We want to tap into the benefits of spreading that protein out all the way through the day over breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. So protein requires a lot of energy for the body to digest other than nutrients like fat and carbohydrates. So we're wanting to up our energy use. Protein is thermogenic, and it's a nutrient that can increase your metabolism with every single meal. So think about distributing it across breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't just have protein and vegetables at dinner time. I make sure I have protein with my breakfast, protein with my lunch and my dinner. I'm a big fan of things like eggs, which are a wonderful little snack. That's an easy source of protein as well. There's so many easy ways to do this. So the bottom line, why we want to do that protein pacing is that you'll get greater muscle retention and muscle growth to power your metabolism. And that's what you want. I promise it's worth it. Now, hack number 4 is managing daily stress. I have banged on so much on so many of my podcasts about stress because it's just the biggest influence. It really is. So why do I go on so much about stress? Well, the bottom line is that stress, be it physical, be it psychological, be it emotional, doesn't matter, whatever it is, it can have just as much of an effect on our body and metabolism as sleep deprivation. And the very first podcast I did, number 1, back a couple of years ago, was all about sleeping your way out of burnout. Sleep is the number 1 thing you want to do right of a day to be able to help all of your body systems, particularly how our body is able to recharge and work properly. So when our hormones are out of whack from stress and everything, our metabolism is out of whack, our insulin sensitivity is affected, and you're less likely to exercise, you're more likely to eat the wrong foods, and it just throws off your goals. So managing your stress with adaptogen herbs is so important to your overall well-being as well as your metabolism. Go to the show notes and I'll put a link into the adaptogen herbs that I take on a daily basis. And I have for 30 years. I really have. I have taken adaptogen herbs for 30 years because I know the health benefits for me for preventative health. So hack number 5 absolutely is we've got to sleep well. I bang on about it all the time. Go back to episode 1 and check it out. It is the most critical thing we do all day. It is the thing we give the least attention to of a day, and yet it's so important. Even a single interruption in our normal sleep pattern can have a detrimental effect on both fat metabolism and tissue recovery. I am such a fan of planning for good sleep. I don't wait to do crappy sleep. I take my adaptogen herbs. I give myself time to slow down and be ready to go to sleep. And if people would just bring the importance and focus to that, like I had 30 years ago, as they do like doing their workouts, people go, oh, I want to be healthy and increase my metabolism. I'm going to go and work harder at the gym. Well, shit, I'd be trying to sleep better before I did the workout because your body will train harder and recover faster if you get the sleep right first. So sleep and adaptogens are a must. And without a doubt, sleep is the most important thing I do every single day. Sleeping on a consistent schedule will help support the release of important hormones like melatonin and growth hormone, which both govern your metabolic rate every single day. So are some things that impact our metabolism outside of control? Absolutely. And what's cool is I've given you 5 simple hacks you can tap into on a day-to-day basis that can help influence your metabolism and support it in a positive way. So the healthy life hack for this episode is pretty simple. Which one of the 5 hacks will you start on? I've seen too I've seen too many people over the years go, oh, I'm excited, Jen, I'm going to do it all. And then they can't juggle everything at once. And they go, no, I won't do any. Don't do that. Just what one of these are you going to integrate this week, just this week? Focus on going to bed early and go back and listen to episode 1. What is it? What is the one thing? Are you going to move your body 5 days this week? What's your one that's going to help get your metabolism working and heading in the right direction? So head over to the show notes, www.healthylifehacks.com.au, where I've got a couple of links to the adaptogen tonics that I take, but also to episode 1 and episode 98 that you want to have a listen to as well.